They'll be calling you a radical. This is a very, very big deal. All anti-nuclears around the world, all hands on deck. One of the scenarios that we've been warning everybody about for so long is at play. All this nuclear waste stored and everything. Fukushima never woke anybody up. Chernobyl, and think about the cover-up and the rats and the liars. What's going on in St. Louis right now is not going to happen, could happen, is happening. It's a catastrophe. I want all you people in that area. And I'm going to give some advice and I'll separate my hypothesis and theory from the factual details. First, let's get right to the factual details. That thing's on fire. What's burning into the atmosphere? It's a fact. This is how inept the government agencies are. Government agency is pure serfdom. I listened to him speak right now last night. I listened to the entire, your hearing was beautiful. It was very well done. You know, her from Chernobyl, she said it perfectly on the live stream. There was a lot of people engaged. You know, we're the media now. The media's not going to do anything for you. Any of you people. The FEMA, none of these people are going to do anything for you. The government's not going to do anything for you. I'm telling you, they're going to suck up your money. And they all need to be in prison because they don't know how to do anything. You listen to them speak, they're clueless. Because to have a government job, what does it turn into? It's serfdom. These guys haven't done anything for decades. I've been dealing with these FEMA guys. The guy at San Onofre is one of the most pathetic in human history. These people, look, they get government jobs. They're handed a job by a friend and neighbor. Well, it's usually, you know, father, somebody. They don't work. They travel to Vegas, symposiums, do whatever. They don't do anything. They don't do anything. And then you got media. Regular media, alternative media, and vloggers and bloggers, they're all the same thing. They think they're on the winning team, and they're trying to make a buck. So anybody puts one thing out, they just reanalysis of the analysis, regurgitate, whatever, and pander to the same, you know, buy your guns, gold thesis. Now, if any place in the world this should be the galvanized issue, it's St. Louis. You know, everybody gathered together in Ferguson for, you know, the unjust murder of a young man. Well, this is the unjust murder of millions. Okay, fact. We know because us as freelancers, we have a thing called RadNet. Now, we know factually, Fukushima didn't wake any of you up. Fukushima should have been woke the whole world up. Fukushima's ongoing. So when RadNet Fukushima happened, the plume was blown out, came over the United States. We have radiation detective dishes all over the country. We spent millions, especially after 9/11, pay the Dragon Slayer. You know, you're too busy worried about ISIS in your neighborhood when there is no ISIS. You know, I went off to Afghanistan to kill the Taliban. Went off to Iraq to get Dick Cheney a big old sack to haul the Swiss. I knew he was Santa Claus. Went off to Vietnam to kill the Viet Cong. They're still there, all gone. Oh, how nice is they made up ISIS. I mean, look, pay the Dragon Slayer, the return, that's all it is. It's serfdom. And everybody's in on it. Everybody's in on this club. Go Royals, go Royals, go Royals. And I don't mean Kansas City, but I do. Look what these athletes make. They hijack you to build their stadiums, whatever, why they're toxic. This is American toxic. Look, this nuclear waste is stored all over. My PhD, my first PhD in the 90s I was working on, you know, in Symphony, I mean, way back, even in the early 90s I was working, late 80s I was working on this. I came up with the number of 252 of these. You know, this is the mound. Look, when they, fact, okay, let's lay this out, fact. One, when they buried all this stuff, it was not put in stainless steel containers. It was not put in dry cast containers. You know, it's been in the earth for a long time. Where is it? What is it? Well, theory. I believe it to be plutonium. And I'm basing my theories off Einstein, metal bronze, so many of these guys. Gamma rays, when they fuse together with other chemicals, create an event we don't even know what it is. Bringing star power to Earth, that's what Livermore will tell you at the Livermore Lab in California. It's what their logo's all over. They brought star power to Earth. The sun can give you cancer from 93 million miles away. So I've named it plutonium. It's a synergistic effect going between gamma rays and other toxins. That's exactly what's killing the Pacific Ocean. That's my theory. My theory is that it's caused the drought over the western United States. But fact. Okay, so these people had to call the fire department. Did you know that? When this, I mean, we got all these government agencies we're paying millions of dollars for. RadNet, Gina McCarthy, head of RadNet. She's head of the E.P.A. now. These people should be in prison. These people, you know, Barack Obama walks out and gives that speech in the Rose Garden after Fukushima. Oh, you know, just blatant lies. Because why? This is the greatest cash cow in human history called nuclear. Price Anderson, you are paying for your own death. You as the taxpayer just feed this beast. The I.A.E.A. has hijacked the UN. You just feed, because it's the greatest cash cow in human history. It's the dirtiest filth. It's uranium mines, and it's not economical, never was. It's not clean. I mean, it's a boiling the Earth's water over and over, but it relieves this byproduct. It's like Friedrich Eisenblau, the greatest human rights activist in the world, in Austria, who says, to hell with the Nobel Prize. We have alternative Nobel Prizes. She says, look, if you're a farmer, would you continue to farm if you had no answer for what? She asked me, what is that called? What's the English word for what the cow, you know? And I says, waste. Yeah. I says, in the U.S. we would. Because everybody's bought into this. So this that's going into the air is toxic. Big time toxic. Now, my theory, this is theory. Now remember, I said this is theory. That it already is leached into nuclear. And nuclear is already leached together and burning. That's just my theory, and I'll tell you. Now hear me out. We as freelancers have had to do that with no money. You know, I've been fighting for my life with leukemia for the last 4 years. This compelling, incredible story. Everybody pulls back on me, screaming my head off, going crazy at the greatest ecological catastrophe in human history that no one seems to care. As the Earth's dying right in full to see, you know. Radnet Didishes and our freelancers all summer long have been picking up huge spikes in that area. All across them, huge spikes, some of the greatest spikes. Now remember, Obama's answer to Fukushima, raise the limits. Raise the limit on children 1,600 times. They've raised the limits on it 4 separate times. In the aggregate, many thousands of times. It's cancer. It causes cancer. Economically, they've already destroyed you economically. Your real estate values, your business, wow. You know, this woman said it so perfectly at Chernobyl. And think about these people that come out on YouTube vlogs, whatever, and talk about how great Chernobyl and it's not that bad. You know, eat the apple. These people are pathetic because they haven't lived it. Just like in Utah here, everybody's not, I've lived it. You know, the Nevada test site, I've lived it. I've watched the death of my father through freaking AML leukemia in the prime of his life. I watched Annika, the girl that I was in love with, that I was my mate for a long time, was born and raised in the Ukraine. You know, that great activist that she was. I watched her die at 38 years old of this brutal disease. I was given no chance 4 years ago, this brutal disease. Central line hanging out of my jugular vein. And this YouTube camera was able to record it in history. This brutal, brutal, ugly fight. Look, 1, be prepared now. You know, I know people there that have Geiger counters. I have a really good Geiger counter right here. Somebody sent me, you know, I'm going to send it to my friend there in St. Louis. Look, they're not going to tell you when to get out. The government's going to lie, and the media's going to do, because the media is totally inept. The media is totally captured. Everybody's gone for this. The media are derelict in their duties. They're derelicts. E.P.A. is derelict. The Radnet is derelict. These people are derelicts. These people should be Bill Gates owns it. Republic. Isn't that the way it is? White collar crime is legal. We're too worried about fairy tale fake stuff, ISIS. Put people in prison for nothing. Ask Bradley Manning. To tell the truth is to die. You know, ask Snowden, ask Manning, ask Hassan, ask Michael Hastings, ask Aaron Swartz. To lie, cheat, and loot. Isn't that what we are? And we all go along with it. This is your lives here. Your health. So, this thing's buried. Now, fact. Callaway, and I don't mean the golf club that Tiger's Swedish nuclear wife smashed his face in with. You golfers. Callaway, the nuclear plant in St. Louis. This is the beast. The perfect storm. The reality. So what have they done? The N.R.C., because you as the American populace refuse to deal with nuclear waste. It's just piling. You refuse. After Yucca Mountain's been passed to put it there, you refuse, so it's just piled up, and just this is what happens. Some men you just can't reach. That's the way he wants it. That's the way he gets it. So, wow. This thing is a catastrophe from hell now. So Callaway, they decide, the N.R.C., because no one will deal with waste, with a stroke of the pen. They have no executive power. They have no legislative power. They have no judicial power. With a stroke of the pen, they create all these 104 nuclear reactors as nuclear waste dumps. So it doesn't even matter if they shut down Pilgrim, San Onofre, Yankee. The waste is all still there. They're just as bad, if not, I mean, just as dangerous. We don't use any of the nuclear power. None. Zero. It's just a big... We don't use any of it. Solar, people say, oh, solar could take the field. We can't start having tired old 1972 arguments. It already took the field. I'll be down there and I'll show you these incredible solar farms that went. I was on Valentine's Day at Diablo Canyon the day the Mojave one went on Valentine's Day. Blue Hearts on Diablo. It went online in California. It's already gone all solar. I mean, it's not good. We need a new grid. We already have a grid. This is just an old, tired, freaking cash cow that people got their fingers in. Bill, Hillary Weston, they all got their fingers in it. Why do you think none of them come out if it's the greatest economic cash cow in human history? And everybody wants to be on the... I mean, they've ruined this genre. You know, take something somebody says and just write. Nobody does any investigative journalism. Nobody does any work. I do, and I do it with no money. So, they're moving it out of cement fuel pools. The nuclear waste just sits in swimming pools. They're stored up. It's past capacity, way past legal capacity, a long time ago. So they're putting in these, they look like vaults you get buried in. It's called DryCast. So Callaway was the first one they started experimenting with. You know, they want to do the same thing, Santa. Look, the N.R.C, and it's not the N.R.C's fault. The N.R.C, the nuclear rallying cheerleaders, I call them, it's their fault because they don't hold accountability, but it's not their fault, this waste. It's their fault because they lie and go along with these cheat. And when Barbara Boxer goes into the N.R.C. and tries thinking, and she's told to stand down, the head of the Congress committee has all the powers in the United States because of the Patriot Act. Fear got you. Fear got you. You know, those great quotes that Jefferson, those guys say, to give up all your liberties, you know, for, wow. It's sad. So when they're moving, they had a problem. They lie, but they're under investigation. The N.R.C's launching a special investigation. We know because we're freelancers. We've been documenting the radiation across the Midwest. We know this summer went crazy. Some of the highest that have ever spiked. That doesn't just happen. That's radiation from somewhere. Callaway, the fire. Absolutely. This thing's a major... They're not going to... So, get your stuff ready. I mean, this is a sad commentary that I got to even say this. Would I have already evacuated? I don't know. I mean, it's hard. I live right here in Utah. Who am I to say? Look what happened to me. My trees have died. My father died, and I'm still here. So, I don't know. It's hard to leave your place. But be ready. Be prepared. And I know it's hard because people can't even afford to leave. I mean, what do? You know, iodine tablets, I don't believe that's the answer. You know, the answer is to hold these people accountability. Bill Gates, that rat, he stole everything he ever had. I mean, here we worship people like that. He owns Republic because, you know, it falls right into the banker thesis. It falls into the same thesis. You know, we let these criminals get away. We let Bush steal the election, no accountability. We let Colin Powell stand on there and just lie in front of the UN. We let Rumsfeld, we let them all off the hook. We let freaking Clinton freaking sign Glass-Steagall away. We let all these people, and then we hold nobody accountable inside these alphabet freaking agencies. They're derelicts. They don't know how to do anything. You listened to that guy last night. That was beyond pathetic. They have no clue, right? They don't even know what they're talking about. Nuclear fallout causes cancer, and it won't kill you immediately. You get some radiation poisoning, absolutely, make you very sick, but it's not going to kill you more than likely. But it's going to give you cancer later. You know, the incubation periods can be very long, but I mean, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and it's going to contaminate the place, just like she said, you're never going back. It's like Fukushima. They're never going, but they let them back in, that's so they don't have to pay them anymore. Nobody went back. Chernobyl, there's nobody in there. They say, oh, the animals are thriving. That's because there's no human pressure on them. They're not thriving. You know, it's all propaganda. Marie Antoinette let them eat yellow cake. Would have I been out of there by now? I don't know. That's your choice. That's your decision. But, you know, people that have children, you know, here's what I would do. I would be hammering so hard media. I'd be going after them, you know, as Michelle Grant did there and just went off on these guys. They're derelict in their duties. You know, and I would be screaming and telling them to their face, hey, you have children, you live here, part of the community. You know, this should be the galvanizing issue. Should bring everybody together. This doesn't know race. This doesn't know socioeconomic status. This is a major catastrophe from hell. And this just isn't a St. Louis issue. I want people to very much know. Look, all across Tennessee, all across the Carolinas, all across Florida, all across geographically, anywhere. I mean, anywhere east of that, which is the whole world, the Earth's round. This is a major global issue. We have a thing called the jet stream, the wind. There's probably places that are going to take pockets of this. Richard Miller, Under the Cloud. Heavier maybe in, you know, South Carolina or Florida or even in England that is happening maybe there. Not good to happen. This is happening. It's happening right here, right now. FEMA's not going to tell you shit. The government's not going to tell because they don't know shit. And we have a president and we have a federal government system that's all in nuclear. The Fukushima didn't prove that to you. These are the greatest crimes against humanity ever created in the history of mankind. And I've told them exact detail. And everybody's pulled back from me. And I look back on this and my pathway. I've done it perfectly. I mean, the hard work that I've dedicated my entire life to this. I mean, it's burned a hole through me. You know, let people in my own room with my cancer. Boarded off people call. I mean, I think about the attacks I've been under, threats I've been under, whatever. But, you know, and I want people to know this in St. Louis and that region. I give my phone number out. I'm a walking, talking encyclopedia on this subject. I can help you. You know, if you need anything, I'm there. And I'm trying. I had CBS on the phone last night during I'm talking all over these news desks. I'm sending everything. You know, I'm all over them. I'm all over them. You know, but this is a cultural dynamic that's a play. This is a, you know, I call POPISM is dead. Post-ignorance. It's not a cliche. You know, it's very, wow. So, everybody in the region, you know, you need to unite. These mobs need to rise up. Big time, you need to unite. You know, we're the media now. Media's not your friend. They're not going to do anything. Mainstream media's done nothing but blackball me from the day they're saying, I've told this in such Cassandra-like way. Use your social media sites. You know, and don't push people out for being radicals. You need those radicals. I'm here to tell you, you need those radicals. I mean, you do need them big time, more than ever. You know, you need everybody. You know, you need to unite the clans. You need to band together, and you need to demand that these people, these derelicts, go to prison. You know, Bill Gates needs to go to prison over this. These people, they just run just like GE. You know, USS Reagan, they sent those kids in, they're dying. I'm the only one at the lawsuit. I mean, it's amazing. We love the troops. No, you don't. You know, nobody cares because it's a me generation. Well, I'm here to tell you me. And maybe you'll wake up there because your house, your property value is going to plummet. I mean, they're going to plummet. Nobody's going to move there. I mean, that's just the way it is. Who the hell's going to move into a radioactive, toxic freaking zone? And that's what it is. The half-life of plutonium is 24,500 years. And solution to pollution is not dilution. This is not pollution. This is nuclear fallout. It does not dilute. It never, ever goes away. Ever. Lower the mound, Bob Gibson. He lost Game 7. Stay tuned. Give me a call if you need any help, any advice on this.